No, Puff's not trying to hear that, she said. I don't care. I have to put my foot down. Why can't I just take some time, girl, because you Faith Evans? And I'll Be Missing You is on the charts. MTV called the Puffy. We want you here on the MTV Awards. And the Puffy ain't gonna miss no chance for him to sing his part. He wants y'all to know him as an artist. That's his chance, okay? He don't give a about you. You the sacrifice, Faith.
I don't hear nobody out there. Hold down.
So I noticed in the comments that someone had my back. I can't think of your name right now, but I so much appreciate you. What the commenter said was that Nay gives Cliff Notes. You must purchase the book and read the book for you to get some of the main points that were excluded in what was read. So I'm not here to read you the entire book. Some of you all get mad at me because I didn't expound on a situation. No, why would I do that? I encourage reading. I don't want you to be just sitting and waiting for me to give you the book. If you want the book, then you can buy the Audible. Okay? If you want somebody to read you the book, you just won't have my commentary with it. But I'm not here to read you the entire book. Faith has not paid me to read the entire book. And on top of that, she could hit me with a copyright strike if I read her entire book. No, ma'am. So for those of you who be in the comments like, what happened? Why you didn't read everything? You skipped over a whole part. I skipped over a whole part because I do not read the entire book. I just try to encourage reading. You buy the book. You. Todd didn't give up on me, and he became a very bright spot during a tough time. As I traveled back and forth to LA for business, we always made time to see each other. And whenever he came to New York City, he always came to see me, China, and CJ. The fact that Todd and I had been in the same circles since I came into the music industry was comforting. When I performed before thousands at Madison Square Garden for the Urban Aid concert, I was so nervous that I looked for a familiar face in the crowd. I saw Michael Bivins, and Todd was sitting right next to me. We met and became cool when Missy began staying at my place, and things had just gradually progressed. But I was still concerned. By the summer of 1997, I saw Todd as my man, plain and simple. As far as I was concerned, we were a couple. He was still tying up loose ends of his last relationship, but I was fully head over heels for him. But sometimes when you end a relationship, that relationship lingers on for maybe 6 months to a year. That's part of the reason, maybe even 2 years. But that's part of the reason why when I break up with somebody, I always give them about a year or 6 months to a year to get themselves together before I even take someone else serious, right? Because I'm real about relationships and I know how relationships can work. I've had a situation where I was dealing with somebody, and within the first 6 months, I really just wasn't mad that they were still dealing with their ex. I hadn't had anybody in probably like 2 or 3 years before I got with them, but I really just wasn't mad because as a mature person, you know that that's just a part of it and it happens sometimes. So when I found out that they were still hanging around each other cecily, I was like, okay, so we're going to have to tie up some loose ends. I'm going to give you a minute to think about what you really, really want to do. because the fact that you're still hanging on is telling me that you love her. I'm going to step back and I'm going to allow you that space so that you can figure out what you want to do, okay? And I know some of y'all are like, oh, Nay, you way too understanding. I understand human emotion and I understand life, and I'm never going to be mad at somebody for some bullshit that I know I have done before, because I have jumped into something before I tied up a loose end. And I found that if you just back away, give the person space, then time will tell. I appreciate Faith for hanging around and giving Todd that courtesy, because Todd did the same thing for her with Biggie. Now, Big had only been gone for 4 or 5 months at this time, and I was still considered the hip-hop widow. Pause. I ain't gonna talk you to death in this video, but I'm telling you, I had no idea that she had moved on with Todd during the relationship. I mean, she moved on with a lot of ninjas during their relationship, but I had no idea after Biggie's death, because like she said, she was the hip-hop widow, that she was nourishing a new relationship with someone else. Now, Big had only been gone for 4 or 5 months at this time, and I was still considered the hip-hop widow. I didn't want anyone to think I was disrespecting Big's memory by moving on. But the truth was that Big and I were not together when he passed away. History can't be rewritten. I'd already started liking Todd before he passed. Big was dating Tiffany and possibly other women as well. So though it may have looked like I was rushing into something new, we were actually just trying to pick up where we'd left off. Todd blended into my life with CJ and China seamlessly. After he moved to the East Coast for his job, we began to see more and more of each other until it became clear that we were becoming a family. But not even the support of my new man could prepare me for Puff's next request. In late summer, while I'll Be Missing You was still running the airways, Puff was invited to perform the song along with myself and 112 at the MTV Video Music Awards. I heard through Cheryl that he wanted me there, and I told her it was not going to happen. I did the song, I did the video, but I'm not ready for that kind of performance, I told Cheryl. You know Puff's not trying to hear that, she said. I don't care. I have to put my foot down. We can't just take some time. Now, I don't know if Faith is being a prima donna right now or just caught up in everything, but it's kind of expected for her to be there, you know. And I know who else was like the kind of person that just was like, I don't want to work. I'm not going there to work. Nope, I can't. Who else is that? It was another prima donna that was like Aretha Franklin. Them artists, they be sensitive about their shiz, and they got to be in a beautiful moment in order for them to perform beautifully. And if they don't want to do it, goddamn it, we know that Riri, she ain't care. If she ain't want to do it, she won't do it. Much like that goddamn Anita Baker. Y'all bitches probably still mad at the Anita Baker for canceling on you Georgian women. I know y'all put on y'all best wig, girl, y'all kitten heels, y'all little outfit from the Nordstrom, and lined up to my angel. Not, oh, angel. You bitches was mad. Y'all made y'all man put on his best pair of pants and slippery shoes, took him to go get a haircut, maybe that Beijing and his beard, stood in line all that time. And ooh, if I could, I'd give you the world, wrap it all around you. Nope. Not that night. You know Puff's not trying to hear that, she said. I don't care. I have to put my foot down. Why can't I just take some time, girl? Because you Faith Evans, all right? And I'll Be Missing You is on the charts, still roaming around. MTV called the Puffy. We want you here on the MTV Awards, okay? And the Puffy ain't gonna miss no chance for him to sing his part. That's his part, okay? He wants y'all to know him as an artist. That's his chance, okay? He don't give a fuck about you. You the sacrifice, Faith. I began to avoid Puff at all costs. If I heard he was at the studio, I didn't go. If I got a message that he called, I didn't call back. I hoped he would give up and just use a backing vocal track for my part of the song. You know what I would have did? Ooh, I know you like, Nate, it's not right. I would have got a Faith lookalike. Who is that? Who looked like, who did a good job as the Faith lookalike? That little girl who was in the Notorious movie. I would have got me old Faith lookalike, and I'd have been like, fuck it, Faith. Sign this paper that you won't sue me if I get old Faith lookalike to stand way in the back, make sure it's a lot of puff and smoke and everything else around there, and she'll sing it. Don't worry about it. That's what I would do. Like what the Supremes did with Cindy Birdsong and Flo. Yeah, I mean, I just don't have time for your feelings. I felt like I didn't need to physically be there to sing the song. Puff was promoting his album, and I understood that, but I was leery of performing at that point. What'd I say? Puff got to make sure that he get out there. And Faith was messing up the church's money. I was still trying to figure out what my next move would be in the music industry. And in many ways, I was still trying to deal with my own grief. I needed time to work on my family and myself and adjust to what the next steps would be. Cheryl was with me at the studio one afternoon when Puff called looking for me. She answered the phone, and I could tell by the look on her face that Puff was cursing her out. She's just not ready to perform that song, I heard her say. I could hear screams coming from the other end of the phone. I understand that, but things have been really ... Cheryl winced and just looked at me, exhaled, and passed me the phone. Puff, I'm not ready, I said. You're not ready? He yelled. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm still trying to get my shiz together. Look, we here, and we gotta live. We have a hit song right now, and we need to perform it together. If you're not ready, get ready. It's not that simple. Faith, listen to me, Puff said in a low voice. You want to give up on your career? Fine. His voice began to get louder and louder. But you will not fuck up my shit. Do you hear me? Fine, I said. I'll do the show. I hung up and collapsed onto the sofa in the studio lounge, sobbing hysterically. Cheryl sat down next to me and tried to comfort me. You could have said no, she said. I know that, I said, still crying. But he just gets under my skin and I feel like I can't. Why he got all you bitches scared of him? Girl, I would have bent his big juicy ass over and ramped it in. Girl, let me cry for a minute. My shoulders rocked up and down, and I began to catch my breath in spasms as the tears began to subside. I was pissed off at Puff for taking me there emotionally, and I was mad at myself that I allowed him to have this kind of effect on me. I threw my head back on the sofa and began to massage my temples with my fingers. I knew in that moment that something was going to change. Time flew by during my first few years in the music industry. From meeting Big to getting married, having CJ and then losing Big. It all seemed to happen in the blink of an eye. But the next phase of my life filled with even more life lessons and spun out even faster. On a cool November afternoon, I was out in Los Angeles with Todd for the weekend. We practically lived together when he was on the East Coast, and we were pretty much a team in every way. I'd come out to Los Angeles with him to meet with some songwriters and producers I was thinking of working with for my second album. Todd had become my rock. I depended on him quite a bit, especially with all the craziness that was going on in the music industry. I'd given in and performed with Puff at the MTV Music Awards a few months before. I didn't regret it. The moment was very special. Puff even got Sting to perform with us. And after the show, Sting told me that he loved my voice, which was thrilling. That day was special for Puff, 112, and me. But I still had some issues with the way Puff had screamed on me to get me to perform.
Hey, do my favorite go-go song. Taking a ride on the east side, made a left on MLK. What a beautiful day, what a beautiful day. Riding high on the west side, looking for a hood rat to play. Won't you come out and play? Won't you come out and play? Hey, taking a ride. Hey, hey, on the south side. Ooh, ooh. Hey, hey, hey. We like that good. Say what?